We have learned what is fatigue, what are the effects of fatigue, what are the different states of fatigue, what are the contributing factors that may increase the risk of fatigue. In this training session, we will learn how to identify the factors that may increase the risk of fatigue, because unless and until we are not able to identify these factors, we cannot make a suitable and sufficient risk assessment. Before digging deep into the subject, if you're first time on this channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon for all future notifications. And if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share it with your friends and colleagues. Let us learn and understand the methods to identify factors which may contribute or increase the risk of fatigue at work. Here, the most important point is, if you need to identify the factors, you need to consult with workers, including managers, supervisors, and health and safety practitioners, about the impact of workloads and work schedules, including work related travel and work outside the normal hours. For example, work a person has taken home to complete, not finishing on the job site. You need to examine work practices and systems of work. For example, the degree of choice and control workers have over working hours, the pace of work and rest breaks, and secondly, the type of work culture. For example, where there is an accepted practice of working long hours. All this valuable information you cannot grab, you cannot collect, you cannot investigate unless you will not consult with the site, workforce, working staff, and workers. You need to examine worker records. For example, sign in and out sheets, billing sheets, and shift changeovers to determine working hours, and in particular, whether excessive hours have been worked or hours have been worked at times which may have led to body clock disruption. This is the most important point. Consultation with the workforce, workers on site, because practically they are involved in operations and they know very well what exactly is going on the work area, work site. Point number two, you need to obtain advice and information on fatigue from relevant experts, research, guidance materials, and data published by regulators, industry associations, unions, or other sources where you can get accurate and expert opinion. Number three, review workplace incident data, including incidents traveling to and from the workplace, and ask these questions. Very important questions. Number one, what is the likelihood fatigue is contributing to the incidents? Number two, what time of day do incidents occur? Number three, when incidents have occurred, how long had the workers involved been working? Number four, for example, time since start of shift, number of hours worked that week and in the preceding 3 months. Number five, do the incidents often happen when a worker's body clock is slowing the body down and concentration is poor? After all, you need to review human resources data. For example, rates of unplanned absenteeism, staff turnover, and workers' compensation claims. Those with an injury or illness may be at greater risk of becoming fatigued. So, these are the different ways how you can identify the contributory factors that may increase the risk of fatigue at work. After the identification of risk and the contributory factors, let us understand now who is at risk of fatigue. Some workers are at a high risk of fatigue because their work typically involves some or all of the factors which contribute to fatigue. For example, shift workers, night workers, fly in, fly out workers, drive in, drive out workers, and the seasonal workers, on call and call back workers, emergency service workers, medical professionals, and other health related workers. These all categories are at high risk of fatigue because of their nature of job, nature of operation, rosters, scheduling of duty, and the prolonged duty hours. You are on the platform of Safety First Life. It is particularly important to identify fatigue risks which might arise when safety critical tasks are being carried out. Safety critical tasks are those where the consequences of a mistake or error in judgment could cause serious injury, for example, driving a road vehicle, such as a taxi or courier van, or operating a crane or other high risk plant, for example, excavator, loader, JCB, etc. You are working at height, participating in medical or surgical procedures and settings, working with flammable or explosive substances, or other types of work identified as hazardous. For example, electrical work. You are working on energized lines, circuits, panels, or switchboards. These all categories are the example of critical, high risk work activities. Dear friends and fellows, try to concentrate. First of all, you need to identify the factors those may increase the risk of fatigue. Then, who is at risk? Then, which activities are critical activities? When you have valuable information about all these elements or aspects, then you can easily assess the risk. You can prepare a workable, sufficient, and suitable risk assessment for the workplace or for the work activity. A risk assessment can consist in finding out where, which, and how many workers, including contractors and subcontractors, are likely to be at risk of becoming fatigued, how often fatigue is likely to occur, the degree of harm which may result from fatigue, whether existing control measures are effective, what action should be taken to control the risk of fatigue, and how urgently action to control the risk needs to be taken. Remember, when assessing risks, contributors to fatigue should not be considered in isolation. For example, job demands, hours of work, and environmental conditions may all increase the risk of fatigue in the workplace. The risk of injury from fatigue may increase if workers work long daily hours in a physically or mentally demanding job. This risk of fatigue may increase when new workers begin their job and are adjusting to work demands. This will make the situation more critical, maybe worse. Risk assessment methods are similar to the methods used to identify factors contributing to fatigue. Remember, it is not necessary to conduct a risk assessment in all circumstances and for all activities. Risk assessment is mandatory for high risk activities. I'll discuss how to control the risk, how to schedule the work, how to make shift work and rosters of duty, how to handle job demands and counter environmental conditions. All elements in the upcoming training session. Identification of risk factors that may contribute or increase the risk of fatigue. Part 7 is over. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, comment and share the video. In the upcoming training session, how to carry out risk assessment for fatigue at work. Until then, take care. Good luck and goodbye.